There's like a million ways this thing can go wrong right now. And I'm talking on like an audio level, I'm talking on a camera level. I really hope this is in focus, which it looks like it is. I can't remember the settings I used to use on this because it has been so fucking long since we did a podcast. But I'm gonna label this season 2 because fuck it, why not? And boy, a lot has happened. I also don't know why everybody waits like 3 weeks to work into the new year. Like in terms of like distributors, brands, this X Y Z, and just like people are like, like people are still on vacation or just like this. Or I don't know, bro. Like I don't know why. Like I'll give you the first week, but like fuck, I don't know. But yeah, welcome back. We are, and we do. I don't know why I said we are. We have a lot to talk about. There's been a lot of shit that has been happening in my personal life and in my business life. Just everything and anything that you think could have happened in 75% of a year. I feel like a lifetime has passed, but welcome to season 2. And if this is your first time stepping into my fucking head and onto this channel, there is a lot that goes on here. There is bodybuilding, there's business, there's venting, there's this, there's that, there's real world problems, there's conspiracy theories, there's fuckery, there's whatever. So if I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to talk about it. So the way the podcast originally started was obviously with the concept was with like a group of friends and stuff like that, but then like obviously like life gets busy and then like weekends and then like who can come and this and that. So like I started doing these solo ones where I labeled them kind of beyond bodybuilding in terms of like how I can kind of stem it beyond the gym, i.e. beyond bodybuilding. Only in the sense of like where can I bring now principles, core values, and like all attributes and aspects like outside of the gym world that I've learned maybe like inside the gym world, whether it be through discipline or this or that, but like that's that concept there. But every once in a while when we got with like friends and stuff like that, we were talking about just like we love cars, we love this, we love that. But I mentioned in my last video that I was going to talk about the vetting of businesses and like how I've been able to successfully do that through both of my businesses throughout the years, and the risks of it, the rewards from it, the gain from it, the like all of it. So what I'm going to bring into the mix and what most people could probably attain to is again powerhouse. So as you got, and if you guys don't know, foundations in Tampa and the foundations back at home, so it would be in Carmel and Brewster, is effectively shut down through again details that are in my own. So maybe in the near future we're gonna have Paul on the podcast. We're thinking about doing like something separate with the entity of Powerhouse and stuff like that, in terms of like that'll be more geared towards like what we're working towards, like kind of how like Paul does the Sunday updates and stuff like that, but it'll be a little more in depth for people who want to learn more, because a lot of people do find insight on those updates and they are super important. While they're not flashy, the content itself in and of itself is like flashy, so that's like awesome. And we had a lot of decisions to make, a lot of decisions to make, and this is like weeks and months. And I'm not going to say long story short because that's the reason this exists, just to kind of paint the picture and the long story. So from what I know and everything that I was led into, and again, this isn't, we're going to talk about numbers, we're not going to talk about bad mouthing people or just anything of that sense, but like you just have to understand that when businesses tank or when businesses fail, hey, it is just because of the concept, because the team is not linking. It's not working, whether it be an individual or a team effort or someone's pulling shit out of their ass. It's just not working. So on the Florida end of things, obviously there was a misjudgment of just like, and like if you didn't really know anything going on in Florida other than us like putting it up on the gym level and stuff like that, then you don't know. This might just be in one ear and out the other. It doesn't affect you guys. But there was just a lot. I mean, obviously, if you guys know foundations, what we used to do is supplement, like embodying supplement companies, like bringing in, Raw, Jocko, Revive, First Form, Alpha Nutrition, whatever, Ronnie Coleman, like whatever. Like that's what foundation was. That's what we did in terms of just like on the supplemental and things. Obviously, we had the wellness stuff. We have everything and anything. If you wanted it, if it was a supplement and we carried it and we loved it and we were behind it, we got it for you. So obviously on the gym level, you can see why that helps us, because obviously just like supplying the supplements, obviously we were just leaving money on the table. Now, with Florida was just a lack of leadership. I mean, it was just a constant either Paul or Cristiano or John or even Angelina constantly like, and obviously Angelina goes to school down there, so she was like the head of that, appointed as like, as things were going on and stuff like that. More so like when I came into the picture, she was appointed. And it was really because just the team that was down there and the team that we were trying to build, I'm just going to label like it is, was talking out of their ass. And it's just like these guys were coming on and they're like, like I'm an influencer and I do this and I do that. And here's where I have the problem with like that influencer realm and like why I really don't even associate in that realm anymore. If you guys are even following me on Instagram, I'm going to pull my fucking eye out. I just took my contacts out. I don't really correlate in that realm. Like I really feel like it diminishes everything I'm doing. And I the term influencer to me meant like, like YouTuber, or just like Instagram. There was no problem with Instagram, but like I grew in the industry wanting to be that, because like the people who I was, who I sought after, like the Guzmans, the Bumsteads, this and that, like I was already lining up with the greats. And fast forward to literally meeting my heroes and literally lining up with the greats on a very, very small level, but still like being in the same room with them. That was my like understanding and like comprehension of it, in terms of like that's what we were supporting. That's what it was, like very real. It was very like, yes, you had a code and yes, you ran it up, but it was like people who were really in the field, either bodybuilders or powerlifters or just like whatever, just really embodying the sport. But the problem is, and I have mentioned this on another podcast, it's when the hashtag bodybuilders and the hashtag powerlifters got more traction socially than the real-time bodybuilders and powerlifters. And where that's not necessarily wrong, I just don't know, depending on the company that you line up with, because I also lost the concept of like binary factors. There's no like right or wrong. It's just a matter of like what the company's vision is and XYZ. And I'll tell you guys right now, that's even why I'm lined up with Raw, Revive, and Powerhouse. And now actually my cookie dealer, which is just a sister to Raw, which is just protein cookies. But the reason why I lined up with those companies and literally no one else is because of the fact that it was like they're real-time bodybuilders, they're real-time doctors like Dom, and everybody on Revive is just like these are like real fucking like people who are using it. These are people who legitimately had problems or like deficiency in some sort, and they use the wellness in their testimony. Like these are like real stories. They've flown me out to see the operation, to see the team that's working with them, even on a creative level. I believed in them. Meeting Calvin and I don't even know the newer guys on the team, but just when the team was smaller, Calvin and Scott had left the company to work with I believe it's Uphill in Texas, Uphill Battle, I believe is the company, which he's doing great stuff and he's still on like good terms and stuff like that. We touch base every now and then, but just like very real, like very true to it, very like they love the passion, they love this, that. They weren't in love with the money. Like I think that was the biggest part of like where it all started for me and where all that came into it. So now bringing it back to the Tampa side of things and like our sister LLC, it was like there was none of that. It was all this entitlement and no actual delivery, no sales, no. And like when you're in a business, you can't fucking like you got I don't want to keep it so money oriented, but we got to make sure we're earning money. And if we're not, then someone's losing money. Someone's losing attention. Someone's losing time. And the mental fatigue alone in the business ventures and all that we're doing is like that's taxing in and of itself. And the fact that like we're not getting any money from it and it was more of a hurt than it was a help. Yeah, I mean, and the battle has been going on way longer for Paul, and obviously just the level of disappointment that comes from me, just maybe 10 times it, and like try to envision Paul for those of you that do know him, the level of pressure and just fuckery and bullshit that's been going on. So he had it on good authority, obviously, and just like being vocal at every move, just being like, hey, we're shutting it down, this, and that. And then the Hail Mary got thrown when I went down to Jupiter. I took a little bit of a break right before Christmas to come back home for him to tell me that Foundations back home is fucked too. Not fucked, but like shutting down. And I'm like, fuck, man. Now I literally sit him down in the office. I'm like, we have to have a meeting, like stat. Before even working out, I sat down in the office. We're having the meeting, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on? I think I literally said that. I was like, are you fucking good? And these are like dead serious conversations. But I was just like, yo, is everything okay? What's going on? And now he's telling me the backstory, which again, I'm not going to label because a lot of it is just personal. But he was just telling me that like things I've heard, things I put in play, and this is that. And business is such a fucking chess game, and I'm in the game with the best. But it's such a chess game in terms of like like hearing things or doing certain things or certain things being delegated and they're not, and this person fell off and that whatever. You can kind of paint the picture, vague picture, but like whatever, because I'm not trying to give you guys details, but like you can get the concept of it. And so I'm hearing all that, this, and then he ends it with like, no, we're doing our own thing. We're starting our own LLC. We're carrying what we want to carry. We're not doing the rules. We're not doing the guidelines. We're not doing this. So now the benefit of starting Forza Nutrition, which is Italian, obviously. Obviously Paul and the family and stuff like that. But like the beauty of starting the now new LLC is there's no guidelines. There's no like fucking you need to order this amount with this company, or like you can carry this but you can't do this. Because now here's the problem is like now that we started our own shit, now there's no ceiling to our limitations. So when we're with these other companies, and again out of respect for the companies, they have rules and guidelines. And some of them were like, you can't do DoorDash, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't deliver, you can't sell because Amazon sells, and because, we can't sell on Amazon because they're already sold on Amazon, and we can't attach. So, like, all these fucking rules and regulations, and all that does is leave money on the table. Like, where it's an opportunity where we can't make money, where we could make money, and it's dumb for us to not capitalize it and optimize on it. So, enter, obviously, Forza Nutrition, where, new meal preps, new this, new that, and again, that's one of the biggest things that we have started, but it's not going to be much of a difference from what you guys are already used to with with Foundations. It'll obviously be a little better. There'll be easier ways to get it. We'll have more play in it because it is just literally just our rules. If it's something that we like that's brought to our attention, it's just like involved. It's that easy. And then now going along the lines of my personal now, I guess, extended contract, we can label it, or just like a newest offer with Powerhouse into the new year is, I went down to Florida, and this is a personal conversation that I don't know if I'm ready to have yet. But I didn't just go to Florida for shits and giggles and to relax and obviously and stuff like that. I went to go and talk to people, talk to the team and stuff like that and see what's going on. Only to come back home and everything I wanted, I got it. Only because Paul was already on the same page. It's as if we had the conversation that didn't happen telepathically. That's the best way for me to put it. So we sat down and I was just like, look, I got to get more. You got to trust me with more. We got to do this. We got to do that. And to keep that super long meeting short, yeah, we got it. So, like, we're trusted with that much more. We have full responsibility and full capability on those levels to act and deliver on now our authority. There's a lot more freedom that comes with it, and obviously with a lot more freedom comes a lot more responsibility, which is awesome. Because as a creator, when you're just giving that much more of the floor, it's like, okay, well, now it's all up to you. And I've done everything that was asked for and then some with the restrictions. And like I said, it was the meeting we had to have. We were all thinking about it. It's been on our minds for X amount of time. And again, with sweat equity, obviously, being on Paul's team is not it's no easy leap, and it's one of the hardest tasks. It's one of my biggest blessings in life. It's because like I know that like when I'm not around, that this motherfucker is gonna hold me down. He's gonna talk nothing but the criticism is set to my face, and then it's like everything else is just like we are the best team. You know what I mean? It's just like that's what we believe in. That's our mantra. That's just like it is what it is. We keep it very close. The level of communication is just like it. Honestly, even on a personal level, like I don't even care how we're feeling in that shit. Like if I know we're off and stuff like that, like I'll kind of bring it to our attention. But in terms of like there's just being progress and making sure shit is going and staying afloat, that's just as far as the conversations go. Like I'll send him reports on like how well things are doing, again like on like a very KPI structure in terms of like analytics and stuff like that to see how everything's going. And it just has to be expected. I mean, because when you're controlling all of the variables, when there's a lot of things in your play that you can control, then you use it to your best. You use it to the best of your ability. And then if it tanks and it fucks, then it's like it's on you. So it's like gaining that much more responsibility. Obviously, comes with that much more power. And now, fast forward into leading into 2024. I guess we can kind of that's where this podcast can go. Kind of like 2024 visions and like vetting a business, because before talking about 2024 visions and goals, what I do want to explain to you guys is that like me and Paul we're not amateurs when it comes to vetting businesses. And what I mean by that is cutting the grass really fucking low. And what I mean by that is if you're not fucking working, then get the fuck out of the way. Because again, on a very just structural level, it can all be great until it's not. And that's the best way to put it when it comes to working with us and for us. It is just, it has to be a certain way. It's just like it's the way we know that works. And here's the thing, though. It's not that it even has to be our way. Like, it's not our way or the highway. It's just the way we know that works. And obviously, like all things in life, technology advances, work ethics change, this, and that. So, like, as humans, we adapt and everything changes. So going along those lines is like when something new is put into play, if it works, then we just use it. We adapt to it and we use it. We assess it, and that's it. It just works, and then we move forward. So there's not really like a dumb question or like a dumb idea that's like off the table and anything in that sense. But it's just like like the monthly meetings, the sit downs, the this, the that. It's just like what works is what we do. So now vetting the businesses and stuff like that is if you're simply just not on board in terms of like the game plan, what we're looking for the year, like the numbers that you guys saw, and I haven't even, and I'm probably going to touch base on it right now. The gym has just completely been redone. Like completely been redone since the last time I spoke on this. And I think literally not the last video that I put up of me coming back, but like the video before that, we're literally doing demolition in the gym with like that platform that was by the first dumbbell section that we have. Now we literally have 3 dumbbell sections, brand new equipment, saunas, new lighting, new stereo, new Wi-Fi, new flooring, new fucking paintings, new mirror. Like 1,010% completely different. So like when people are like, oh, where did you go? Like we had to be on deck and then some. Like your physical body had to be there, and spiritually you had to be there, because it's like it took everything in us to be on board, but we got through it like I said we were gonna do. So fucking fantastic. But now literally putting all that and going back into like the vetting the businesses, if you're just not with it, like if you're not tied into the vision or tied into this, then I don't even want you. And now tying it into my role with the company and stuff like that, when it comes to like picking athletes and like now considering sponsorships and this and that, like if you don't embody what I think, because I think my biggest thing is like creating culture. Like I've done it 4 times over. Is it 4? Yeah, 4 times over in different gyms, and I've never failed at it. It's something I'm really good at. It's something I know how to bake, how to curate, whatever fucking sexy term you want to use. I'm really good at that, and I think that ties into wanting to and aspiring to be that influencer. It's just something I'm really good at. Like I grew up in the gym before the cameras, before the fucking bodybuilding, before this, before that. I just knew I would go to other gyms and be like, oh, that would be good if we had that, or oh, that machine would be good, or that music would be good, or that lighting would be good, or these type of people here would be good, and these type of females here would be good. So like just literally going and being blessed throughout the years to just travel and train at like at what was Alpha Elite, seeing Alpha Land before it was Alpha Land, before Alpha Land was even a name, and seeing that at Summer Shredding a couple of years back, meeting Christian, meeting Chris and Dom, and seeing Revive, and seeing Raw grow. Like I saw Raw grow out of the warehouse into like the newest warehouse that they have now, and now Dom's building a private gym. In that warehouse, Chris has his private gym where he just trained at this past Olympia. So like I'm literally, I've been so, and it's all the emotions are flooding back right now in terms of like how lucky I am as an individual to really see all this through and be involved with all of this on such a close level, like literally just meeting my heroes and doing this and doing that. I don't really step back and acknowledge this stuff in terms of like what I've seen, what I've been through. And that's where like this stuff is like fucking fantastic, because I'm so grateful that like I can document the journey. I know who I was with, where I was at, who was with me, what state of mind I was at. Like I know how to read myself through the camera, obviously, because it's me, so I can read like facial expressions and body language and stuff like that. And like being able to see all that and then literally go back and see it and learn on myself what I can do better, just all of that shit, and realizing like, okay, how can I get better? And even on like a super simple level of like bodybuilding, like even with the fucking just a super simple tangent on my injury with the neck, to now going and training my back like a fucking monster right now because of just the PMR and Shay and meeting Paul and meeting Powerhouse and all that. But like a perfect example of now going back to seeing that like, oh fuck, I couldn't move my neck and I couldn't train my back for X amount of time, to now like, holy fuck, my back has made so much progress. So like just literally bringing all that full circle, and now bringing even all this full circle, and going back to the whole vetting process, that like, yeah, if you're not on board, then seriously, respectfully, just get the fuck out of the way. And like here's, and like I had a super, on top of that meeting that we spoke about with Foundations, I spoke with Paul, and here's my biggest transition to my personal life, and this is gonna fall on death's ear if you're not ready for it, but seriously, like spiritually getting intact. I'm 4 sessions into the new year, and I started going right after Christmas to Sunday church every morning. And the church I go to either does like an 8 a.m. or an 11. I tend to like go to the 8. Sometimes if I don't wake up on time, it's the 11 a.m. But the 11 is like fucking everybody's there. So like I'd rather go to the 8 a.m. one, get it out of the way, and then start the Sunday, because my week starts on a Sunday, and this is a Sunday night at fucking 1:30 in the morning. That's fantastic. But sorry, my radiator just freaked the fuck out. But just really, I can't, like, I remember asking Paul in that meeting, and this is, right, so this is now, I went to one session right after Florida, and that was when I started going, and, like, I had got back on, like, a Saturday, or some shit like that, and then Sunday was the first session, and I met with Paul on Monday, and we were seeing each other scarcely again, because it was around the holidays and stuff like that, and obviously gym hours, and whatever, however it played out. I just know I had one session under my belt before that one meeting on, like, we were leaving Foundations and starting our own company. I remember asking him, I was like, do you go to I remember, like, it was dead silent for a couple seconds. I was like, do you go to church? He was like, yeah, every Sunday, I'm there. And I was like, and I literally had a fucking moment. I just had a fucking, not an emotional breakdown, but like a legit breakdown where I was just like, I don't fucking understand. I don't know what's going on. And I feel like every entrepreneur, like, kind of goes through this. And, like, that's why I'm so lucky to have Paul, who's a dad, a mentor, a friend, a brother, a best friend, a gym bro, like, everything all encapsulated into one fucking human being. And just literally ask him, like, I just don't fucking understand, man. I was like, I'm doing everything, like, good friends are falling off, this and that. I'm making mistakes. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm fucking up. But business is growing and this and that. And he was like, dude, he's like, you're just holding it all inside. It's not, it's not yours to hold, and it's like, like you're trying. It's like that weird fucking gap of like, and it's gonna sound terrible, but hear me out. Like when you're really trying to work for something, here's what a lot of people don't understand: that champions are actually fucking broken. People who are really trying to do things for themselves, like, we're fucked. And I mean that in the best neutral way possible, because like what sounds foreign but like just doesn't make sense to me is, how the fuck are you really gonna get things that you want by being the person you already are? Like, if you really don't think that you're gonna have to lose yourself a little to get something you didn't have, whether it be an ego death or just doing things a little differently to get the things you didn't have, I don't understand why that concept doesn't fall like on a perfect level of comprehension with people. Like, it just doesn't make sense why. Of course I'm going to have to change. Of course I'm going to have to become a different individual. I have to do things that I wasn't already used to doing to get the things that I never fucking had. Now, I may have lost myself in the process, and I take that L all day every day, but it's like, for the cost of like where life is at, it's literally gotten to the point. And again, I don't even care if this falls on deaf's ears, because if you're not ready for it, it's just in one ear and out the other. But it's gotten to a point where I literally asked him, I was like, yo, I didn't say yo, but on a super spiritual level, I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Like, am I supposed to be doing this? Like, what's my calling? I'm kind of lost. I'm at that weird level, and I'm at that weird standing point in life where, like, you're entering a new social realm, not even on social media. I'm talking just, like, literally in life, where, like, you're sitting at a different table now, but, like, you're not really up to par with, like, that new table just yet, but you have to leave the old table type of shit. And you kind of have to, like, you're losing some old friends because they're just, like, they're literally not working for themselves or don't want anything more for themselves. And, like, entering that different category of, like, people who kind of already have what you want, but you don't really have it yet, and you're still trying to become that person. So, like, you're trying to latch onto them, but, like, you got to let go of these guys down here. It's like that's the dilemma. Like, it's like you're here. Again, if you're not watching, it's like you're trying to get to A, you're at B, and old friends and family that, like, just don't see what you're worth, are at C, and it's like, do you dial back and stay at C, or do you, like, really press the throttle if you're at B, and do you accelerate up to A? And that's the weird point I'm at. And it's like, I'm asking now these questions that, like, no one else can answer, but, like, either, I mean, and Paul's obviously there for me, but even on like a level where I'm not exactly comfortable to talk to Paul, and where in theory I'm even more comfortable talking to the camera, because it's like, I know, like, anybody and everybody can see this, but it's like I'm in my own, sanction right here. Like, there's no one else watching me. It's like, and I mean, in theory, everybody could be watching me right now, but it's like, I'm very comfortable and I'm very in my element here, so I can talk freely. And it's like, I'm not really afraid of much anymore with what I've seen the past couple of months and what I've envisioned. And, like, you guys wouldn't believe the things I've seen, and just, like, if you lived through my eyes for a day, you would just be amazed. And it's like, I'm asking these questions in terms of, like, in a simple statement, like, yo, do you have my back? Again, just kind of, like, casting that out into the universe. Like, am I doing what I am, is what I'm doing right? Like, and do you have my back? And it's like, over the past, like, when I had asked that, out into the universe, over the past 72 hours from that statement, I think I was at the gym, like, asking that, and, like, in theory, he kind of reminded me in the morning, those next couple of days, he kind of, like, showed me how I was living and what I was a part of. That, like, yeah, like, I saw, like, not that he directly answered, but when I saw, like, when I see how I'm living and what I'm leading, it's like, fuck. It's like, I got it now. And I know that sounds like, again, if in one ear and out the other, if you're not really hearing what I'm saying, but, like, I literally looked at everything I'm doing. I have a job that people dream of, doing the things that people want to be doing, have the best team around me, and it's like, here's where I really gauged life over the last couple of years. It's like, obviously for most of you who've known me for like X amount of time, like let's just say within the decade, like you've seen other gyms I've been a part of, they've fallen off one way or another. But it's like when I really sit back and scale it and view things for as they are, it's like if I knew what was in store for me, like if you told me then that like I would have what I have now with Powerhouse, I would have not fucking believed you. Cause like I also at that point in time I wasn't ready for the what's the right word? I wasn't ready for all of that at Powerhouse, and I mean that in the best way possible. I wasn't ready for that much pressure and that much of a load. Because it's like when I look back to the gyms as I progressed, whatever along the way, and for those of you that have been following me, in my journey for that amount of time, you would see that like at said point in time, whatever, and again, a lot of it's recorded. You can just go back and look. I wasn't ready to be that person that I am now. That I'm able to lead a team with Powerhouse. I'm able to lead this, and that. I'm able to like whatever. So like when I sit back and scale it and I read, like just more into my story, I'm like, well, damn, like if X, Y, and Z had to fail, or if ABC had to fail to get this, then yeah, it was all worth it. And like again, if you guys aren't gonna understand that statement, let me just put it this way: it's just, excuse me, I don't know if that burp was caught on the mic, but it's just quite literally growing pains. So like I wasn't ready for it then. I couldn't handle the bag then. I would have lost it even if I had it. So that's what I'm saying. Like the version of me that existed when all this started, when it was all a pipe dream, if I had landed something like a Powerhouse, I would have fumbled it because I just wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready. Now am I ready? Yeah, I mean for sure, absolutely. Like I'm effectively ready. Like I'm proactive and not reactive is the best way for me to put it. And it's like half of 2024 is already accounted for. Like, and that's how fucking locked the fuck in we are. We have months planned already. And like if you asked me this a couple months ago, or even a couple years ago, like just going back to my journey, man, like I wouldn't have been ready. But it's like if the goal was always a top tier place like Powerhouse, then it's like, yeah, I had to go through the bullshit to get there. So it's like I almost took every L, whatever you want to label it, and like really took it on the chin, but I didn't let it knock me down. I really didn't. I did not let it knock me down. Cause even everybody I've lost along the way, friends, family, business, relationships, whatever, I know there's better for me. I know. I'm telling you, over the past fucking couple of weeks, and I don't even, what date are we on? We're exactly 2 weeks into January. Like, the things I've seen from around Christmas time to New Year's and beyond, literally, not even a month. The 25th will be the month. What I've seen in under a month has been phenomenal. That's why I say things like, yo, if this is not for you, don't try to make it work. Seriously, just get out of the way. You're gonna get run over. Like, you're literally just gonna get run over by passion and just a love for the game. Seriously, you're gonna get run over. Like, we're so, in the most respectful way possible, if you're not locked in, like, you're distracting us. Get out of the way so the real winners can win and the dreamers can just keep dreaming. I'm serious. I mean that in the most, like, disrespectful, respectful way possible, because it's just like that's how locked in we are. That's been my biggest personal journey so far, and it's literally been 4 hours of my life. 4 Sundays. It's been 4 hours. It's been 4 hours at once a week that I've just fucking changed. I mean, not the 4 hours. It's like on a daily basis I'm communicating with, because I know where my power comes from now. And like I said, if this note is falling on deaf's ear, then fuck off. Like and fuck off. I know where my power comes from now. I'm serious. I've never been so I've been so silent for so long, just growing, laying the cards out as they are, reading everything for what it is. And I remember what I was saying at 16, 17 years old. I wanted all this. From my mouth to God's ears, I wanted all this. For the people who were not talking well about me, find a way to get them out of my life. And a lot of here, again, on death's ears, if you're not ready to hear this, a lot of the times I was forced to, and this is not going to make sense, and I really need you to have an open heart if you're listening to this. A lot of the times, if there wasn't an answer to a solution, to a problem, then there was never really a problem. But also, at the same time, I remember asking that, like, if I was ever discussed or talked about and badmouthed in a light that I never heard it, please find a way to get it out of my life. And a lot of the times, the mistake came from me, and the separation, the catalyst was me, but the separation, because here's the thing, if someone hates you, they're always going to hate you. Like, if they're envious of you, they're always going to, like, they're just waiting for you to mess up for them to, like, be like, fuck you, like, you were the bad, like, whatever. They were just waiting to point the finger. They're waiting for you to step out of character and pray that you say the wrong thing for them to now shine the bad light on you. So now, fast forward and using that metaphor and trying to understand that kind of bold statement, that, like, a lot of times I even messed up with friends that, like, and here's the thing, you really can't mess up with friends. Like, because if I say this statement a lot of times to the real ones, if I make a decision that's so far left, and you have to understand that my motives weren't like marked fucking, like in spite or like in an ambitious fashion of just like attacking you or anything of that sense, that, like, if I make the decision to go so far left and you wanted me to go right, you would have to understand that for me it made sense to go left, not out of the sense of for me to be heinous or just like act aggressively in that fashion against you or it, to be like, oh, he chose that way because we wanted it this way or anything of that sense. So, like, I'm never going to really lose the ones that are around me. Sure, I'm going to make mistakes. Of course I'm going to make mistakes. It goes back to what I said before about champions are fucking broken. I understand that. I understand I am the sinner, but there's also a power that brought this sinner onto the front steps of a fucking church. There's powers that exist that you guys would never understand. And again, if you're not open-hearted to envision that or accept it, then just fuck it. It is what it is. And you're like, how can you go to church and say fuck it? Because it's like, I'm not God. I will fucking put you in your place if I have to. I understand that. I understand who I am, what I've become, the monster that was created. I understand all of that. But I also, what you guys have to understand is I do have to protect people. People do answer to me. People do come to me for guidance, and people do come to me. People do come to me for answers. So I do have to be able to execute. I do have to be able to assess. It's just life. I can't paint this perfect picture of this guy that fucking doesn't exist. And I tried to for a long time, and it broke me. I'm not, right? Because what's the saying? I'm not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am. I am who you think I am. That's the statement. Which is like a mind fuck, but play it back. Because it's like I don't even care to fight the losing battle anymore. If you have an image of me that's painted in your mind that I'm supposed to be a certain way, then dude, fuck it. 2 + 2 is 5. By all means, knock yourself the fuck out. And now, before going off that tangent, and I don't apologize for that, because I am moving extremely different. And I mean that in the most aggressive and principle and core foundationally way possible. That doesn't make sense, but fuck off. And going down to vetting businesses and going into 2024/2025 with this vision, yeah, we are very much locked in. Myself, Paul, Cristiano, Angelina, AJ's doing his thing. The people who need to be locked in are locked in. I said from a very young age, I don't want to lead sheep. Not right now. I will eventually. And by sheep, I don't even mean like, you're a fucking sheep. I mean like people who just like, they want to be led, but like they can't really. I don't have that patience just yet to lead like kind of the individuals who are just like, I don't want to label, but not like naive, but like just like haven't seen the world for the way it is. I want to lead people who like, I want to lead leaders. And that takes, you have to become a strong individual for that. You really, really have to change everything you know and everything you ever thought you were. You have to change. So going back to that statement is that I don't understand why. Actually, no. I understand why I'm getting the lash. But what I don't understand is how people don't see it all the way through. Because like if you were just to, for those who've played video games, if you're going to build like the strongest fucking character, he's probably going to have to fucking lose some fights. Or you want him to have a certain trait, you're probably going to have him go through something that is going to acquire that trait. Right? Because like if the goal is like, I want the perfect girl, I want this, I want that, well then like, you really think you're going to land that on the first go or the second go or the third go? Or are you going to, are you able to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 500? Like what if you had to go through 500 girls to find the one? I had to go through 5 gyms to find the one. I think I clipped the fucking mic. I was dumb close to that. But yeah, I like going back to that, what I was just raving about before. I had to go through a couple gyms to get this fucking masterpiece. And I'm totally okay with that. Now that I have it, I'm totally fucking okay with every tear that's fallen, every blood that I've lost, every gym floor that I've slept on. It was all fucking worth it. We're better, we're bigger, we're stronger. Period. Nothing can fuck with us. There's not another brand that's been around longer. There's not another company I would rather be with. There's not another group of individuals I'd rather be with. When I tell you I'm back to back with Paul, I'm back to fucking back with this guy. Back to back. I'm thinking about him when he's not even thinking about me. And there's no such thing as that anymore. There's no such thing as brotherhood anymore. None of that exists. Everybody would just rather talk shit. Brotherhood doesn't exist anymore. I got this guy's back no matter what. I don't care if he's fucking older than my dad. I don't even know. But like, point being is I don't care. Age doesn't have a limit. Mentally, I've lived fucking 4 lifetimes. Which is why I don't even have younger friends. And I can't even latch on to Gen Z. You guys are fucking stupid. The retention rate is shot. You guys are scrolling. And even my generation, we're scrolling on TikTok and just Instagram Reel or whatever. And when there's no, that's why I'm so happy to be back with long form content. Because I know this is the way I siphon the fucking who likes me and who doesn't. Who's really going to listen to my shit and who won't. We're still doing the Instagrams and the shorts and the this and that. Like, it's just a part of my reality. It's not going to be an all good reality when it comes to social media. But just the retention rate, the thinking that social reality is real is bullshit. Is fucking shot. And I have no patience to express how stupid that is to anyone. Like, you should know that. If you don't know that life is already fucked, then like you're not gonna hear it from me. If you don't wake up every day and realize that like the same shitty shit you're doing every day ought to not change, then it just won't. And going into 2024, I mean, we have, like, man, how much time am I in? 45 minutes? That's not bad, honestly. I might keep this one short. But, damn, I don't even think I breathed at all. But yeah, man, going into 2024, I mean, this shit has been written for a long time. I mean, prep starts soon. I don't want to sound really cocky, but, man, I really think I'm getting the pro card this year. I'm really confident. The gym is at where it's supposed to be at. I'm at where I'm supposed to be at. The motivation I got is where it's supposed to be at. The anger, the aggression is at where it's supposed to be at. Man, I'm so fucking, yes, locked in. Locked in. And I can't even tell you guys my superpower. But, like, I'm back to watching even short films. I'm back in check with, like, podcasts and stuff like that, like people who are lining up. Uh, the gym plans are set. The meet and greets are set. The trips are set. A couple things that are coming up are Arnold in Ohio, I believe, which I will be going to with Raw. I believe we're doing a booth. If I'm not mistaken, I believe we're doing a booth. I don't know if we have any athletes competing there, but I'll be there, even as a spectator, just to kind of see. The meet and greets for Powerhouse that we have set up. I'm not giving you guys dates, but we do have at least 3 set up. At least 3. Dates are to be determined because we do have a couple little things to do with the gym, but time is not really against us. It's just a matter of when it's done and when we can prime it. And it will work to our advantage when the time comes. Like I said, the timing is always uncanny, and it always falls on the best leaf possible. So I'm not concerned about that. When the timing is right, it will feel right. So definitely look out for that. And then just, man, the season's opening up. My car's coming back soon. That has nothing to do with the gym for a lot of you, but a lot of you guys have been following me from the car world / into my gym journey, which has been a couple years, short-lived, but a couple years. My car is coming back soon. That will be completed, and to go on that drive is, I feel like I could die after that. I mean, it's just been, when you're working for something and you actually accomplish it for literally a couple years, and it's like this car I've been dreaming about, and this build I've been dreaming. This build that it wasn't even real until, like, oh my god, I'm so lucky. I'm living out my wildest dreams, man. I'm able to take care of my family. I'm able to help my sister. The guys I don't really look to take care of in the family, because, like, you could just hold your own. But my mom, my sister, and it's just been a weird ending to the year. And I mean that in the best way possible, and I don't even want to get emotional, but it has been such a fucking roller coaster in the best way possible the past, like, 3 weeks. And with no aspiration to slow down whatsoever, I'm very, very, very lucky. I'm very grateful. I'm very blessed for the teams I'm a part of, for the people I can call friends, the business owners, the partners that I'm with. Just, oh boy, I'm just super lucky. And there's other topics we're going to go into. I kind of like the way this one went. It's kind of lighthearted. It's kind of serious. It's kind of heavy hitting in different senses. But I'm just happy to be back on all these platforms, on YouTube, on podcasts. Fuck, man. I want you guys to understand one thing, that when I'm really talking about all this stuff, and when I'm talking about either a car or a business or this or that or friends I'm just talking about the work, what it's done for me, the freedom it's given me. Because when you handle the finances, you're really able to do what you love to do. That means if you want to fucking go and spend time, like, on a boat, on a this, on a that, if you want to go out every weekend, if that's what you want to do, like, take care of what you want to take care of, and then do what you like. Seriously, just do what you like. And that could be whatever the fuck you want to do. Because I'm not even opposed to, I mean, recently I've just sobered up completely too, because of just prep starting. But just ended up getting back into, like, into smoking and stuff like that. Drinking was occasional. I kind of had, like, a weird hiccup with it as of recently. But again, like, just all of it's dropped completely, and just, like, sober thoughts have just been coming back, and everything's been cleaning up. My body's been getting tighter. My mind has been getting more clarity. And to no surprise, can you do it with the drugs? Sure, it's not me. It's never. I've had my fair share of it, and one way or another, that story will come out at another time in terms of, like, my relationship with that stuff. But I'm not looking to necessarily explain that now. But to those who make the rules, there are no rules. And when you look at another guy not following it. The guy that's looking at it could never imagine another guy not following the rules. That's the best way for me to put it. Because, like, when I met Paul, I'm a guy that I used to walk into a room where I wonder if I was liked. Now I walk in the room and wonder if I fucking like people. Like, that's literally the best way to explain the past couple of months. And when an energy walks into a room, and like I've had this conversation with Paul plenty of times, it's like, whether you're loved or hated or feared or aggression or whatever. Like, when an energy walks in the room, you fucking feel it. And I see the dynamic change when I walk in the gym, and I sure as fuck saw the dynamic change when Paul worked out that one time. And he brought his fucking dog, Bane. At the time, it was just a bald guy fucking bringing his big ass dog to the gym, because I didn't know. Paul wasn't a name in my book, and the dog was just fucking a dog, a big ass dog in my book. Like, that's literally how that conversation and relationship started. But I remember me and him by the dumbbell section, and it was just, fuck, man. Like, no one could touch us. We were inevitable. We were invincible. And it's just like, that's the energy we both walk on. And if you got a problem with it, walk around it. I mean, we just control the room. We control the room. When I work out, when he works out, when he steps onto the mat in Altus for jiu-jitsu, I'm so thankful and blessed that I've been embodied with this much power and this much responsibility. It's just the attributes, the personalities, the charisma, whatever you want to call it. It's just like, it's such a good feeling. And it's like, fuck, man. It's just like, I don't even, like, the size, the like the lack of words is just like, that's how it feels to just like, man, I'm really lucky. I'm really thankful. I'm really blessed for everything. And like, I can't keep wait to pushing and grabbing onto the next leader that really wants us, man, because we do have a young crowd around us, and we're looking for people to step up. I say that all the time. And we see everything. I see everything. I see the guys working. I see the people tagging the gyms. I see all of that. I'm sorry, tagging the gym. I see all of that. This is like the voice of people who think things but never say them. I see everything. I hear everything. I'm lucky. I'm lucky for the people I've lost. I'm lucky for the people that I've gained. I'm lucky for the people that are going to step up. And I'm lucky for the guy or girl that's listening to this that's just going to wake up one day and get the fuck out of their own way, because that's really what it's all about. Seriously, just take a chance on yourself, man. Our job as humans is just to experience. We're not here for a long time. We're not here for necessarily a fun time, depending on your calling. But the human experience is just, that is it. I feel like that's it. That's life, is the experience. So here's to a successful, just apologize who you have to apologize to. Reach out to who you want to reach out to. Life is way too short. The year just started. Make amends with whoever you have to make amends with. Forgive yourself, not the situation and for the repercussions and validation of other people, but just make the amends to let go and move forward and forgive yourself. That's what making amends is for. It's not necessarily to get the approval or validation to said party to be like, yes, I do forgive you. No, it's just saying your part, looking in the mirror, taking the accountability, increasing your integrity, assuming the responsibility, and allowing yourself to move forward, because there's no need to carry mistakes and resentments. Don't let the mistakes define you. Just let them create the new path to become better and a brighter person. Don't let people treat you like the mistakes you made. Everybody makes mistakes. The only thing we're scared of is just being mocked in a social light. And that's what I lean into. There's not a mistake I can hide. There's not a piece of drama I can avoid. I'm a very social creature. It's all brought to light. I hear everything. The people talking shit. I hear it all. And it's fine. I've allowed people to do that. I've allowed to fail I'm allowing myself to fail in a public eye. It's the reason why most won't live the way I'm living, and slash maybe will never, because like I'm not afraid to fail in a public eye. Because that's the thing. Like we would all try, but we hate to see how we're viewed or looked at and perceived in a public eye when we fail or make a mistake. And I just don't care. I'll lean into it. I stand on everything. I stand on all the fuck ups, the mistakes, the drama. It is what it is. It was part of my calling. But it was all worth it when I see how I'm living. I asked him if he had my back. He reminded me by showing how I'm living. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Every mistake was worth it. So, thank you. Welcome to season 2. If you like the podcast, share it. Smash the fucking thumbs up button. Ooh. Once a week. I think once a week we're doing this shit. Once a week. I'm excited. I'm excited to set that threshold and that standard because I got a lot to talk about. And it's going to be more current events. So, I'm excited. When I'll bring others on, I'm not sure, but I'm excited. Definitely once a week. But yeah, thank you guys. We'll catch you in the next one. And use code Yanni.